Hi, I'm Dr. Kylie Dodsworth, and I'd like to talk to you about constipation. It's not really a very talkable topic, but to be honest, it's really common and far more common than people realise, because we often just get used to what our normal is, and people often say it's a change in bowel habit that you have to watch for. Now, while that's true, a healthy bowel is not one that is a constipated bowel. So what does constipation actually mean? What it means is if you're not going to the toilet and using your bowels once or twice a day, every day, with easy to pass, well-formed, a good amount of coloured, normally brown stools or feces or poo, then you're actually not having a normal healthy bowel function. So constipation is if you're not going once or twice a day. So if it's every second day, that's not okay. If it's more than that, that's really not okay. If you're passing small amounts or little pellety bits, that's not okay. If it's actually a bit loose and watery, that's not okay. If you're going to the toilet more than twice a day, that's not okay either. Now, when I say it's not okay, I mean that's because the digestion of our bowel is how we actually get all our nutrients inside our body. And if we've got sluggish transfer going on, you've got lots of toxins and waste products not being eliminated from the body, and they're just sitting there in the bowel. You can have food that's not digesting, sort of putrefying or going off in the bowel. If it's going through too fast, we haven't got the right opportunity to do the digesting of all the food, so we can then absorb the vitamins and the minerals and the proteins and the fats, all those things that we need. So too rapid a transit through the bowel means that we're shortchanging ourselves of that opportunity to actually get all the nutrition that we need. So it's a bit like the Goldilocks thing. We don't want too much, you don't want too little, you want it just right. So if you're not getting it just right, we need to look at why, what's been going on that's made the bowel a bit sluggish. So one of the main things that we need for our digestion to work properly is signalling for digestion right from the top end. So we need to have enzymes in our mouth that called amylase that help us to begin breaking down carbohydrate, and that also stimulates the stomach to start to produce stomach acid. We need to chew the food properly, because if we haven't broken the food down into smaller particles, there's a lot more work to be done further down. So taking the time to chew the food, making sure we're getting the saliva around the food, swallowing it down to the stomach. The stomach then has to make acid to help break open the proteins and begin that digestive phase for us. And once the food moves into the intestines, we've got the pancreas releasing digestive enzymes and the gallbladder releasing bile. The bile helps to break down the natural fats and oils and get our fat-soluble vitamins, which are vitamin A, K, E and D, into our body. The pancreatic enzymes break down carbohydrates, proteins and fats for us. So getting the right digestive enzymes is really important. And if we're not making enough stomach acid or enough digestive enzymes, that can make everything sluggish. If we're eating foods that don't agree with us, so we can have things called food intolerances, they can actually cause the bowel to be more slow in the transit time as well. So looking at things like dairy intolerance and wheat intolerance, they're the most common ones. There certainly can be others, but knowing about your own food intolerances is really important. So going on a bit of an investigative journey around that, I'd encourage you to do that if your gut function is not right. You need to have the right bacteria in the gut in order to do digesting as well. So if the microbiome or the gut flora is out of balance, then we can't break down the food properly, and that slows everything down as well. So it's about looking into each of these things and seeing what's going on. You need to have enough water. So many of us are not drinking enough water. So just literally hydrating, it could be as simple as that. Lemon juice squeezed into some water in the morning, fantastic thing. What we do with that, when we drink that lemon juice, it actually helps to stimulate the gallbladder to release bile. And bile is a signal for our bowel to do a mass contraction and empty out. So having lemon juice and water in the morning can be a great signal to actually then go and use your bowels. Other natural triggers are having something to eat or doing some movement. So if you are a little bit sluggish, start your morning with lemon juice and maybe go for a walk, and then you have to make the time to actually use your bowels. So having a habit around this. So either first thing when you get out of bed, or after your breakfast, or after you've been going for a little walk or done some exercise, make the time. Even if you don't feel the signalling happening, if you go and actually sit and wait something tends to happen. Strain a little bit if you need to, because that all signals to the bowel, oh, now's the right time. So make the time, have a habit, have enough water, look at your food intolerances. If you're still not getting there, then we need to actually start to add some things in to help. And magnesium is one of the best things that can help. Magnesium comes in various different forms, but it's magnesium oxide that tends to help with the digestion because it doesn't absorb into the body, it stays in the bowel. So you can get something called magnesium pellegrino, you can get some magnesium oxide in various different forms, and you don't get tolerance to that. Whereas some of those herbal laxatives, we can actually get tolerant to them over time. So it's better to go down the path of using something like magnesium oxide. Prunes work a treat, good old-fashioned prunes, dried fruit. But a couple of prunes each day can be a really good stimulant. You can get prune juice as well, but there's some of the natural things we can do. So some lemon juice in water, a little bit of activity in the morning, making the time, having enough to drink, having some prunes, and then looking at things like even fibre in the diets, that's your vegetables, and then things like your probiotics as well. You might need to consider all of those things, and even add in some digestive enzymes if you're still having some problems. So let's aim for these really good bowels so that we can actually get the great health that we need from the food we're eating and the digestion that we're needing to do. So unless you're pooing twice a day, once or twice a day, easy to pass, well formed, good colour, you've got some work to do, so let's get on with that. If you've got any questions, then you can check me out at the website below, and I look forward to next time. Bye for now.